Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
And I am Stacey Earlywine, and we are doing a fun episode
on weddings. So we're going to talk about weddings in Clay County through the years.
Yeah, just fun.
Mm-hmm. And actually some that aren't even in Clay County.
Yeah.
I have one to talk about. That was kind of cool.
That's fun. Yeah, yeah. All the stuff that I have, this is stuff that I brought from my own wedding, and we got pictures and stuff of our weddings, and we got, I don't know what we even have.
Yeah, we got all kinds of cool
we got
things
all
to talk
sorts
about.
Of
so it's
we didn't want
fun.
to get rid of our fall stuff, so we just kind of did our decorating around it.
Yeah, so we
weddings are cool.
Yeah, love weddings.
Well, I don't.
You don't?
I don't like going to weddings much.
Yeah.
No.
I like weddings. I'm okay with them. My husband doesn't really like to attend weddings so much. He finds them boring.
Yeah. Well, it seems like I was in so many weddings when I was younger.
Yeah, you're always the singer.
I'm always the singer. Yeah, I've been in hundreds of weddings probably, and I always sang. And then when my friend Chris Roopson got married, I actually got to be a bridesmaid.
Woohoo!
So I was bridesmaid, and she made me sing.
Oh.
So I literally sang while I was standing up there in front.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool.
It was kind of cool. Yeah, so I was a bridesmaid one time. Gosh, Chris got married I got married in 88. I think Chris may have got married in 87. I don't remember.
It's a long time ago. You're old.
Oh, you have no idea. Our Jim and I's 35th wedding anniversary is November 5th.
Oh, wow. That's just next week.
That's Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, time change day.
Okay. Did the time change on the day you got married?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, I think that the time changes, I remember the time change a lot of times being in October. Are they pushing that back? I think
you're right.
I feel like the Halloween parade sometimes was also a time change
I think
weekend.
you're right. Yeah, I kind of remember that too.
I think I am right. But we've talked about the time change before. It's like, fall back and leave me alone. I don't like to spring forward.
No, I say, okay, so the time changes next week. Just leave it. Once it's there, just leave it.
Leave it alone.
You know what? They don't ask me.
I don't know why they don't ask
I don't know why either. I have great ideas.
We have fantastic ideas. They're not just great, they're fantastic and superb.
Right.
And we have all the answers. Just ask us.
That's right. Yeah. We do.
Oh, gosh.
So let's talk wedding. Well, no, we got to start with our ad.
Our ad. Well, our ad kind of goes along with weddings because you can't get married with roots.
No, you cannot.
No, you cannot. Pull this ad up here, Ty. Look at this. Gray hair no more. Color back.
Okay.
Banishes gray hair.
I bet it
If you see the streaks of gray in your hair, or even if you are very gray, what's that say?
Don't become resigned to looking old. Just get a bottle of Color Back. Use it as directed and see your hair quickly return to its natural shade with a beautiful silky texture, and your hair will be clean and free from dandruff and itching. It's multiple. I would guess it would probably just completely fry your hair, but I don't know.
I'm thinking it would.
Color Back is a clean, colorless liquid that has restored youthful looks to hundreds of thousands of people. It is as easy to apply as water and does not require any testing or experimenting with samples of your hair, although I think you still should do that.
You should always do that.
One preparation is for all shades, black, brown, red, blonde. Results often appear in a week. What? Okay. So why not immediately?
Well, and it goes on as well as water, so is it that runny?
I
have a feeling everybody's got blonde and red and running down their face.
And there's so many different hair textures. I just don't know about this.
I've never heard of Color Back. That's probably why it's not in existence. It
probably went out of business. When Color Back has given us such a remarkable and easy means for conquering gray hair, there is no excuse for any woman to be a wallflower or for any man to be considered too old for employment. So this company is worried about the women not being able to dance while they're worried about the men not being employable because of their gray hair.
Who knew gray hair had so much potential?
I didn't.
Apparently this company never met Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Silver Fox.
Silver Fox.
Hello, Sam Elliott. You know, gray hair is just really coming into style these days, where
it
it's more,
is,
even
yeah.
younger women are going gray.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ty.
Thank you.
But,
Yes. Yeah, that is
So-
true. But okay, so honest to God, the one that was the most shot, Bob Barker.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Barker, I love The Price is Right. Bob Barker, his hair was as brown can be. And literally from Monday to Tuesday, the next show, he was as white as our hats.
I always watched Bob, but I don't remember the big switcheroo.
You
on his
don't?
hair.
Oh,
No.
my gosh, I do. Yeah, he went totally gray. I mean, it was, you don't just,
It doesn't happen overnight.
yeah, and you don't strip that hair out that easily.
Yeah.
But Bob, yeah, he looked good. But Sam Elliott's the one that really brought the man. Gray hair is nice on men, but I think it's different for women. Men look distinguished, women look old. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, and it's my business.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I have Stacey who keeps my roots completely covered.
Yeah.
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 So
Never gonna know about that, are
yeah,
we?
no. My grandma Rose A. Strike, she kept her roots covered until, gosh, well into her 70s, I think, before she ever started to show a little bit of gray. Yeah.
Well, I've actually, like, when some of my customers that we dye their hair, I've colored hair at Frankenbright before. I've done that before because they're like, don't you ever. But now let me go in my coffin with gray roots. Seriously, I have some that my mom was the same way because she had cancer, so she wore I put one of her wigs on her. But yeah, there's a lot of them that are like, don't. But now we got the hairspray, the root touch up, which is fantastic.
That is fantastic. I'm wearing some now.
I'm wearing it. So am I.
Yeah, because I'm not getting my hair colored until Thursday
That's right.
with you, and there was a little bit of gray showing, so just a little. It's like, for those that aren't familiar with it, it's like hairspray, but it has a color to it. So I just use brown, and wherever there's a little bit of gray, and it's gone for the rest of the day.
Best invention in the entire world.
I wish I would have invented it.
Yeah, I do too, because then you'd be super rich.
I wouldn't be sitting here with you today, though.
You still would, even if you were super rich. When I win the lottery and I buy Sailor Springs and bring it back to its glories and have my RV park, I'm still going to do By the Way with Beth and Stacey.
Yeah, I guess I will too.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will. Totally will. Yeah, I love doing it.
I do too. It's so much fun.
It is.
Okay, let's talk marriages.
Let's talk marriages and weddings.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the first marriage. The first recorded marriage was in 2350 BC, before Christ.
That's a long time ago.
A long time. It became popular across. Oops, sorry. That's my phone going off.
We're recording at a different time today, so people probably don't know that Stacey is.
Yeah, I might have to. And I don't know how to silence my phone.
Yeah, I know. She has this crazy phone case where it will not allow you to silence the phone on the side, and I am getting you a new phone case for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I might give it to you. I might give it to you early, as in November.
Hello, sister. I'm recording an episode of By the Way with Beth and Stacey right now, and I'm not kidding. You're literally online.
You're on air with Beth and Stacey.
And I have the SOS, so they can't get through anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
my sister's gonna try calling in.
We're gonna toss your phone out the door. Ty, come rescue her phone.
Get my phone.
And rescue it, throw it into storage somewhere. This is the phone that cannot be silenced.
Oh my God.
We do not have a way to silence it.
She's there. Take that phone away.
Oh, golly gee. Okay, so let's talk weddings.
How funny is that?
Oh, my gosh.
Chances going to be like, I need to edit Stacey today.
Yeah, could we be more professional?
Exactly.
No phones.
No phones.
Okay.
And I never have it on me. Okay. So the very first wedding was between King Dakisha from Durga and his daughter Shakti married Shiva in the presence of all the gods and goddesses.
Oh my.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Shakti. Yeah. Yeah, but the problem is like there's so many facts about marriages and things. People didn't a lot of times get married for love.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They got married
for land,
for money, for necessity, for merging of money families, one money family to another money family.
Oh yeah. I think it like arranged alliances between families were big, and back in family ties, back in biblical times, it was very common for cousins to marry inside the family.
Yeah,
for cousins to marry cousins.
Got to keep it all
Gotta
in the family.
Keep that bloodline pure, which, by the way, we know that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it just causes birth defects.
It just causes, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, in the United States, Massachusetts required a marriage license in 1639.
Wow.
So
that's way back in like the witch trials kind of era.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Massachusetts was the first community to
do a marriage license. Massachusetts. Okay.
Yeah. And this is crazy. So that's 1639. Get this. Then it wasn't until the 19th century when marriage licenses were common in the United States. So you're talking from 1639 to like somewhere in the 1800s. Over 100 years before it was like. So I wonder why Massachusetts was like.
Maybe it had to do with the witches.
Maybe it did.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they were just more legalistic there.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But here's the problem though. Rich kids, every person that had money, if you were wealthy, your marriage was prearranged. Mm-hmm. So if you're rich, sorry
Good
about
reason
ya.
to be poor, I guess. Than married for
Poor
money,
kids,
for love.
Poor kids, they could just get married however they wanted, whenever they wanted to, whomever they wanted. Nobody cared.
Right.
But so that's pretty interesting about that. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with some more interesting facts about marriages.
Okay.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlymon, and we are talking about marriages.
Marriages and weddings.
How exciting. We were just talking about how Massachusetts in 1639 was the only state that wanted marriage license. It wasn't until the 19th century, the 1800s, where marriage licenses were common in the United States. We also talked about how rich kids didn't get to choose their partners. They were all prearranged, but poor kids could marry anybody.
Yep.
Did you know that even like as far as ages go, a girl as young as 12 could get married?
That's disgusting. That makes me sad for that little girl.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Well, it's sad because that still happens in the Middle East. Now they marry them off really young. And
super sad. I don't want to talk about that.
that's gross. We'll keep talking about that.
Okay.
Okay, this is interesting. Before the 19th century, women did not wear white. It was hard to keep very clean. They always married in colors. So the whole white purity thing really didn't mean, I mean, that's not what it was about. It was about keeping your outfit clean. It was only till 1840 when Queen Victoria, the queen of all queens.
Yes, love Queen Victoria.
Queen
She was
Victoria.
always setting examples.
Absolutely. She wanted to get married in lots of lace. So we've got like our lace on today.
Lace looks best in white.
That's right. She wore white, and that started women wearing white. I think that's pretty neat.
She also was the one that set the standard for wearing black in mourning.
In mourning.
Which it had kind of always been done a little bit, but it wasn't really in fashion to keep doing it. But when her husband passed away, she went into full mourning, and she did the whole full-blown Victorian style dress. It's named after her in black, and that is.
I wonder.
Really caught on.
I wonder why. I wonder why she did that. I mean, I wonder why she picked
her
that.
heart was broken over the loss of her husband.
Yeah. How long were they married before? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I researched her. She's a really cool person to look up and learn about.
Yeah.
She was
if you
really
want
neat lady.
I find that I love European royalty anyway. I love all that. I love everything about Henry VIII.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love everything about him because he was kind of a jerk, but
he was.
But it's interesting. It's
very
fascinating to
it
learn
is.
about their lives because they are so crazy different than ours.
Everybody, and think of the royalty. That wouldn't be everything it's cracked up to be.
No, I'm actually thankful I'm not royal.
No kidding.
Because there's a lot of pressure there.
There is a lot of pressure to be perfect and all this.
Yeah.
And Queen Victoria was wonderful, wonderful. In 1850, there was an opera, Lohengrin, composed by Richard Wagner.
Wagner.
And the song that was in that, Here Comes the Bride,
Oh,
Here Comes the Bride, that was actually in an opera.
Okay.
Okay? I love this little fact about marriages. Rice was a sign of fertility.
That's why they threw rice.
That's why they threw rice, for fertility.
I did not know that.
But then apparently we must have realized that it wasn't good for the birds because they were eating it and exploding.
Yes.
So then we started throwing bird seed.
Yeah.
Which is fun. The Italians threw little tiny pieces of paper. So the Italians didn't throw rice. They just like cut up a piece of paper and throw it. Well, the British was like, that's fun. Let's call it confetti. So that's where confetti comes from.
No kidding.
Actually, the Italians are the ones that started it, throwing it at weddings. But then the British actually named it.
Confetti.
Confetti.
That's a fun name to say. That's probably how they looked at it. What shall we call it? Confetti. That's a fun name to say.
That's a fun name. And now we make confetti cakes.
Yeah. Confetti ice cream.
Confetti ice cream. Oh, yeah. Think about that for just a minute. That was in the 19th century. Oh,
yeah.
Here's
now
what
I'm hungry for cake.
Well, your mom should have baked us a cake today.
Yeah, she should have.
I don't know why she didn't.
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't either. Because
she may have done that one other time.
I think she did, yeah. Oh, shoot.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, my gosh. So I like the at weddings today because now like because like you've got all this makeup and your hair is all done and you got all this stuff on and then you get all that bird seed in your thing. So now I like when they blow bubbles.
Yeah, the bubbles are cool. I like the bubble edition.
I like the
people
bubbles.
are also doing sparklers.
I love sparklers as a scent. If it's a night wedding and you send them off with sparkles.
Yeah,
that's
I like
kind
that.
of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah,
kind
there's
of
a lot
neat.
of cool ideas out there now.
There really is.
Not everybody does the traditional bird seed.
No. In the 18th and 19th centuries, not everybody, if you wanted to get a divorce, not everybody could afford a divorce. It was pretty pricey. So, once again,
what did you do?
Well, if you're so all the rich people that are in prearranged marriages, at least they could afford a divorce if it was,
But it was rare. I don't think people not many did get divorced back then.
You know what?
You just sucked it up.
Yeah, so you and so you're married to Jason and I'm married to Jim, and if it's the 1800s, and we're not liking them, we sold them. They
great.
sold their spouses.
How much could you get out of one?
Well, I don't know. Depending on I don't know. How funny. So that worked either way. So like you couldn't afford it. I just think it's hysterical.
But could a man do that too to the wife?
Yeah,
sell the wife.
Either one of them could get sold.
Okay. Wow.
So how fun is that?
Yeah.
Well, we can't afford a divorce, so Can I get $1, $1, $2, $2? Get the auctioneer song.
I think that would be like, I could see like abusive men like holding that over a woman's head and being like,
so
you
many
straighten
times.
up or I'm putting you up for sale.
When you say it like that.
Don't you think there were some mean men
Absolutely.
saying that to their wives?
Well,
and like,
yeah.
you get in there and you scrub those floors again.
Or I'm putting you
Or
up
I'm
for
putting you
sale.
up for sale.
I'm going to go home and tell Jim that today.
Yeah.
Listen here, mister. You're going to be on the auction block if you're not careful.
Jim does everything you ask him to.
I know. I can't sell Jim.
No.
He probably would go for a lot of money.
Probably.
So I thought that was a very interesting fact. And how many people do you think generally get married in the United States a year?
I think it's went down. I don't think very many people get married anymore.
Yeah.
But I
Over
don't know.
2 million. 2 million
That's
people.
good. I'm pro marriage.
I'm pro marriage. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely I'm pro marriage. But yeah, so I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, over 2 million people. And I'm telling you what. Okay, so I'm wearing my wedding hat, right?
Mm-hmm. That's your actual hat from
That's
your
my
actual
actual
wedding.
hat. I'm going to show pictures here in a little bit. We got pictures of our weddings too that we wanted to show you guys. But seriously, $35. $35 for this extraordinary.
You can't buy anything for $35
No,
anymore.
you can't. No, you can't.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it is pretty.
It is. I love hats. I'm obsessed with them. But yeah, so seriously, but my goodness, I got married in 1988. Got married at the First Christian Church. Normal wedding, decorations, cake punch downstairs. Went to the American Legion, had a dance, had food, had open bar, whatever, whatever. Had a band because back in the 80s, bands were big. And I think my parents, which back at the time we thought was really, I think my wedding cost maybe $4,000. My goodness. Today, well, you're going through it.
Yeah, my daughter's engaged right now, and she's going to be married in May, and so, yeah, we're preparing to pay for her wedding.
And it's not easy. It's
No,
outrageous.
and she's not having, like, a big fancy wedding, but it's still, I mean, the dress, the cake, the rental of the venue, you know, the meal.
Is your mom making the
meal.
cake?
No, Jason has a cousin that my mom does excellent wedding cupcakes, so she's going to make her white wedding cake cupcakes for the wedding, and then there will also be an actual wedding cake that is made by Jason's cousin Laura Harrison, who does amazing cakes too.
Awesome.
And
Good.
yeah, so she is doing the actual taller cake.
That's awesome.
Although I'm not sure we've asked her yet. So if she watches the show, no, I think Malia messaged her. I think Malia took care of it, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, there were some funny things that I wanted, because like we were talking about, and I think I'm going to go through my little bit, then I'll hand it over to you for a little bit. So, always wedding announcements. We talk about this all the time, because like back in our day, my day and your day, there was like your wedding picture was in the paper.
Yes.
And then you talked about, you know, like mine would say Hemp Hill Early Wine Wedding announced,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah. These are funny wedding announcements.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now
But
these
these
are
weren't
actual,
local, though.
These aren't local. I just found these somewhere
Okay.
else. So, I mean, seriously, these are like last names of people getting married. The Gory Butcher Wedding.
Oh my gosh. That poor bride.
Mrs. Gory is marrying Mr. Butcher.
Oh man.
Oh, here's one of my favorites. Hardy Har.
Hardy har.
Hardy Har, har, har. Oh, this is the other one that this was funny too. Trailer Hooker.
Oh no. I hope Trailer was the groom's name, because that would be a hard name to have your whole life.
No, the woman's name comes first.
Oh.
No, so Mrs.
She
Trailer
got married and became a hooker. Oh no.
Who are you, Mrs. Hooker?
Oh.
How funny. And then the other one that I love the Go and Getter.
Oh.
Going is meaning getter. Go and Getter.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
How funny are some of those?
Oh, that's awesome. You know, they did used to put like everything in the paper. So you had these complete write-ups that describe the weddings and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, this one is about an engagement party.
Okay.
This is and this is the headline. This is from April of 1930, and this was in the Floral Journal Record. The headline is "Popular Flora Girl to Wed Rymar Maxwell of Cincinnati." And this just kind of cracked me up. This is on the front page of the paper.
Okay.
A charming social affair on last week's society calendar was a dinner party given by Miss Juanita Lindsay to a group of friends at her parents' home, 110 West Washington Avenue, here in Florida.
Here in Florida.
Friday evening, at which time Juanita announced the date of her approaching marriage. The announcement was given in a most clever manner. Small dolls, attired in bridal array, were arranged in the space of the large connecting doors.
Okay, stop. Back up.
Yeah.
Back up.
The
What?
large dolls.
Dolls as
Dressed up as brides and
baby
grooms.
dolls?
Okay.
Baby dolls.
They said this was clever.
It
Okay.
is very clever.
Small dolls. Let's see. They were arranged in the space of the large connecting doors between the living room and dining rooms. They were then propelled into the living room by blasts from a concealed electric fan. Okay. So they had these dolls dressed like brides and grooms.
That must be one fan.
And big fan. Or maybe they were made out of tissue paper or something. And then they put them in front of the fan, and then they just poof, right into the room. Poof, poof.
That would be terrifying.
And all these people are sitting in there gathered, and they're like, oh, what are all these dolls falling around us?
I've got dolls falling at me.
Okay, attached to each doll was a scroll announcing the date of the wedding, April 14th. Okay, this ran in the paper on April the 1st. Mm-hmm. So this is only 2 weeks. She's given these people a 2-week notice.
Oh, wow, that would never happen today.
The prospective bridegroom is the son of the late Mr. and Mrs. Frank Maxwell and was reared in Florida. He is now employed in Cincinnati, Ohio. Miss Lindsay is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. William Lindsay. Her entire life has been spent in Florida, where she has a large circle of friends. Both young people are graduates of Harder Stanford High School. So after that, they had a delectable dinner, and it goes on to list who was there. But I thought that was an interesting thing. So, like, newspapers were like Facebook is now, everything's on there. So
Absolutely.
She had the details of her engagement party, which were very clever and individualized, like not something everybody does.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you a funny thing about and I didn't send a picture of this, so I'm not putting my pictures up yet, Ty, but because I didn't send one of this, but I remember like our engagement picture, I caught flack for my engagement picture.
Oh yeah, why?
I did, because in engagement pictures, like the lady would be sitting and the man would be standing behind the lady. Either way, the woman was first and the man was behind. Jim and I's engagement picture, Jim is sitting down and I've got my hands on his shoulders, and and it's kind of like that.
I think that's kind of a cute thing to do in the 80s.
But everybody lost their mind over it.
What?
Because Jim was in front of me.
Oh,
I picked the picture because it was the best picture of myself.
Yeah, who cares about Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you? But we got to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
We're going to come back with more fun wedding facts.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, you just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating, So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about weddings and marriages and all things related to weddings.
All things
so
weddings.
That's why we're dressed like this.
So you take it over.
Okay. So while I was researching this and pulling up old newspaper stories on weddings, I just happened to come across this one. It wasn't local, but I found it interesting. And the headline title is DuPont Heiress and Roosevelt Married Today. So this is about the storybook romance of Ethel DuPont and Franklin Roosevelt Jr.
So what are these rich prearranged marriages?
Yes, so that's basically what it was. So they were both from very prominent families. He was a Roosevelt. His father was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and she was from the DuPont company family, the DuPonts. Like she was a heiress to this big dynasty of DuPont. So the wedding ceremony united the two members in the country's of the country's two most powerful and famous families. It was heads of the cabinet were there. There was all kinds of important people from the government there. The president was there, and the security was insane.
Security detail.
This happened at a church, a DuPont place of worship. For 3/4 of a century, it stood on the DuPont property in the countryside, covered with estates of members of that family. This was all near Wilmington, Delaware. But state police guarded the strategic highways and lanes, and a detachment of regular Army soldiers moved in from Fort DuPont to keep watchful eyes on the scene while the president was about. So the state police wasn't enough. Okay, the local police, state police, all of this, they actually called in the Army.
Good night.
To help guard this wedding. So the Army was there.
And I feel like it was more for the DuPont side than it was the Roosevelt side, I bet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
The officials said the duty of the soldiers was to supplement the protective efforts of regular White House Secret Service and state police officers. Can you imagine having your wedding and having so much security the Army has to guard it?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I can't even fathom it. No.
So the bridal couple began the day already rehearsed in their lines and well showered with attentions that ranged from hundreds of simple gifts to elaborate parties, the last of which was last night. Their schedule included a bridal party luncheon at which all members of the immediate families would meet for the first time. So everyone in the bridal parties got to meet everyone else's families. The brief single ring Episcopal wedding ceremony. So single ring, does that mean only she got a ring and he didn't?
Or what does that mean? I feel like that's probably what that means.
I don't know.
That's weird.
This simple country wedding.
Simple country wedding.
With 342 guests invited.
And 752 servicemen.
They had, yeah, no kidding. They had two preachers, his and hers, there.
So was one Catholic and one not?
I don't know. One was this Episcopal rector, the Reverend Frederick Ashton, who christened Ethel, and then the Reverend Endicott Peabody of Massachusetts, who had married the other two Roosevelt sons. A reception for 1,300 guests was held by the bride's parents. And then last, they had a dash for a mysterious honeymoon destination, said variously to be in Europe, at a friend's summer home, or possibly aboard a yacht. Careful precautions were taken to see that everything ran on schedule and that there were no gate crashers, and that guests were adequately entertained. So the guests were met by cars that were arranged for by the bride's father, and they carried engraved admit cards. These were either blue for wedding or white for the reception. And I guess if you were lucky, you got a blue one and a white one, and you got to go to both. But there were officers stationed at all of the lanes leading to the church and the home, and you had to show your little admit card to even get down the lane.
Wow.
So it was very strict. I think we have a picture.
Wow.
Maybe did I resend the picture of the Roosevelts? I'm not sure if I did or not. I might have forgotten to send that. Okay. All right. Well, sorry about that. I had a technical difficulty, but it was a really cute picture because it had Eleanor.
Yeah.
I love Eleanor Roosevelt. Had her in the
Eleanor
picture
Roosevelt,
along
too.
with Franklin Roosevelt and the DuPont family and the bride and the groom. But it was an interesting story about this Ethel DuPont because you just see this storybook wedding unfold and you think, oh, they have everything. They're rich. They've got it made. They're rich. They're famous. They have anything they could want. They go on their honeymoon to Europe, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the case. So
Not
sometimes,
with this poor lady.
you just don't know. Everyone has a struggle, and it doesn't matter if they have money or not. Everyone has a struggle. And Ethel and Roosevelt here were only married until, I think, 1937. No, this happened in 1937. They got divorced somewhere in the 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
And then she remarried a Warren, and she was married to him for a while too, but ended up committing suicide in 1965.
Wow.
She had 2 sons, one with each husband, and the older son, the Roosevelt, he was just months away from getting married himself when she killed herself. And then the other son, the younger one, he was only 10 years old. But apparently she struggled with mental health issues, and her family, the DuPonts, went on to set up the Ethel DuPont Warren Fellowship in Psychiatry at Harvard University Medical School.
And
it's
what's
still
funny
there
that
today.
That they just did the name she was. They didn't throw the Roosevelt
They did not
name in
throw the
there.
Roosevelt name in there. They said they call it the Ethel DuPont Warren Fellowship in
How
Psychiatry.
long was she married to the Roosevelt?
I think about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
How sad.
Yeah, it turned out to be a sad story, but the write-up of their wedding was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so, and that was the cool thing about the newspaper, even my own wedding, when it was like, you write it and it tells all the details.
Down to everything.
Yeah, and, I have a few examples of that here, of some different weddings through the years. This one's kind of a short one. This was from Clay City. The marriage of Miss Ermine Duff and Mr. Louis Longan, which occurred on Wednesday evening, October 23rd, was the most brilliant event of the season and was witnessed by a large crowd of relatives of both bride and groom. The ceremony was performed by Elder W.W. Whedon, and the wedding march was rendered by Mrs. Bess Denton. The bride wore white without jewelry and looked so handsome that no one could help but congratulate Mr. Longan on the prize he had won.
I love that's the best.
On the prize he had won.
The prize he had won.
Okay. The groom wore the conventional black and never looked better in his life. That's almost like a slam at the same time. Like the rest of the time, you're a total dog.
You're
but
a dog,
right now,
but boy,
you
that
look,
day,
man, you look better than you had in your whole life.
Spiffy.
The bride's traveling dress was garnet broadcloth tailor made with hat to match. The happy couple left on the 9:31 train for a short bridal tour before going to Lexington, Kentucky, where they will reside. The display of presents was profuse, and many costly and valuable gifts were bestowed.
Costly
All right.
and valuable.
Yeah, they got a lot of nice gifts. They want everyone to know that.
We got some good stuff.
And another thing I was going to mention is, especially right before World War II, during World War II, a lot of people from Clay County did not get married here. They went to Kentucky to get married. My grandparents did that. Margie and Margaret did that when we talked about them on another episode. Because in Illinois at that time, you had to have a blood test in order to get married. You had to be tested for syphilis. And it took, I think, 2 to 3 weeks for it to get back.
And a lot of these men were going off to war.
Yeah, they didn't have the time to wait for the blood test to come back, and they didn't care, and they knew their history.
Exactly.
They weren't worried about syphilis. And so they would drive to Kentucky and get married.
The 80s were a totally different ball game because the 80s came along, and we had to have blood tests to get married in 88 to test for AIDS during the AIDS epidemic. Because now nothing that doesn't happen anymore.
No, they don't do that.
So I wonder if it's just those 2 periods of time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I never remember my mom or dad talking about it.
Here's another one that has a lot of pretty details in it, and these people, I don't know. This wasn't as long back. This is Kathleen Marie Given and Xiao Hong King, married. I think he was from Thailand or somewhere.
I think so.
Married May 19th in St. Stephen's Church here, I'll just pick out a few of the details. Featured in the decorations for the all-white wedding were gladioli in standing arrangements and white tapers. Officiating in the 11 o'clock double ring ceremony was the Reverend Father Bernard J. Liebker. Mrs. Eugene Foss, costumed in white, provided organ music for the ceremony. So they're even telling what the organist wore.
Oh, absolutely.
But this
That's
ceremony
neat.
was interesting because everyone wore white. Even the bridesmaids.
Everybody
wore
was in white.
Mm-hmm. I think it must have just been beautiful. The bride's informal length gown of white pois de sol, styled on princess lines, featured a scooped neckline with imported Chantilly lace fashioning the short sleeves and bodice and appliqued to the bell-shaped skirt. A bustle of white roses accented the back of the skirt. The bride's shoulder-length veil of silk illusion was held in place by a coronet headpiece and aurora borealis crystals and seed pearls. It was just beautiful. But the attendants were also in white embroidered cotton sheaths with gold bead re-embroidery on the bodices. So everything was white and gold. There was gold lame bows and gold hats, white gloves. Each carried a nosegay of yellow roses. I mean, just all these beautiful details.
Beautiful.
And this young lady, she actually lived here in Flora. Her address was right there on North Main. I think she lives where Dan Sulzberger lives now. I
Yeah.
had that written down.
How interesting.
So, yeah, it was just a beautiful wedding. It's just interesting over the years how people pick different colors. And,
Oh, yeah.
And it was, I don't think the newspapers still do this, where they go into
I don't think
detail,
they go into detail
about the weddings. And they're just, I like reading them. I mean, this would probably be boring to men, but
yeah,
I like them.
Did you ever see the movie 27 Dresses?
No.
You've never seen 27 Dresses with Katherine Heigl and James Marsden?
No.
You're going to go home and you're going to watch. It is fantastic.
Okay.
27 Dresses. Go home and find
Okay.
it. It's one of those movies. It's a chick flick.
Uh-huh.
I watch it over and
That's
over
how I
and
am with my
over.
best friend's wedding with
I
Julia
love
Roberts.
it. I love my best
that
friend's
one.
wedding too, but this one is fantastic. You're going to fall in love with it.
Okay.
Let's take a quick commercial break and then we'll come right back.
Okay.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Royal King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about weddings.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
We're talking about the wedding announcements and movies, a little bit of movies that we love. If you haven't seen 27 Dresses, I highly recommend it. It's great. My best friend's wedding's really good. But let's do, I think you had one
I have
really
another
interesting wedding announcement.
So this one is, the title is Miss Jean Chaney becomes bride of Don Hall today. In an informal ceremony at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the First United Methodist Church here, Miss Jean Chaney, only daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Fred Chaney of this city, became the bride of Don Hall, son of Mr. and Mrs. Earl Hall. And I don't actually have the date on this, but I think it was around 1951.
I think so.
But what was interesting about this one is it says the bride was attired in a tailored two-piece suit of aqua linen, complemented by white accessories. She carried a white Bible on which rested a cluster of white daisies. Now, I bet that was beautiful.
Oh,
and
I
that's
bet it's
unusual.
gorgeous.
She didn't wear a dress. She wore a
suit
that was aqua in color.
Yes.
And then she carried a white Bible and white...
Close your eyes and picture Jean Hall. And I've known Jean Hall. Don Hall and my dad were really good friends. And so I was around Don and Jean growing up as a child. And knowing Jean Hall, this does not surprise me one bit.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. She was definitely a woman that beat to her own drum.
Okay.
She was a great lady. I wish you would have known her. She was wonderful.
Well, that's
she
so cool.
She had grit and gumption.
Did she? Good.
She totally did. She definitely
I'm eager to tell you the rest of this story.
I cannot wait to hear it.
Okay. So the Miss Alderson, which I think it said above somewhere, she was the bridesmaid. And she was attired in a beige linen suit with pink accessories and a corsage of pink daisies.
So pretty.
Now, both Mrs. Chaney, mother of the bride, and Mrs. Hall, the groom's mother, chose dresses of navy blue sheer, worn with white accessories and corsages of white daisies.
So the mothers are wearing dresses.
They're wearing the navy dresses.
Bride,
and
they're wearing pantsuits.
And the maid of honor were in suits. Immediately following the ceremony, Mr. and Mrs. Hall departed on a brief wedding trip en route to Midland, Texas, where they made their home. Mr. Hall is employed by Henson Drilling Company there. But the new Mrs. Hall graduated from Flora High School in the class of 51, and Mr. Hall graduated in the class of 1950.
How neat.
Yeah, kind of cool when you think about a 1950s wedding. I think of the princess, the big... like princess ball gown type of dress for the 50s. That's what I think of.
That's what I would
And she just did her own thing and went for an aqua suit.
Went for the aqua suit.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I like it.
That's pretty neat. I'd love to. I need to get a hold of Bill Hall and see if I can find some pictures of that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because I know he's got to have them. They had two sons, and so, you know. But, maybe some of them got some. Do boys keep that stuff around like girls do? I don't know.
I do not know. I do not know.
So we just talked about a wedding.
Yeah.
From the 50s. Let's talk about my wedding.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear all about your wedding.
From the 80s.
Okay.
1980-something. 1988.
88.
Actually, our 35th wedding anniversary is November 5th.
Okay. Well, we're coming right up on how many years?
35.
35.
We, what's funny about it is we actually, the day we got married, it rained, it snowed, it sleeted.
I think that's supposed to be good luck.
Apparently it is, because we've been together for 35
still
years.
Doing it.
We're still doing it. But so I did bring some stuff. This is the little basket. I keep all this stuff. This is how weird I am. I have a really large wardrobe in my front living room that actually belonged to my great-great-grandparents. It came over from Germany.
Wow.
When they came over, my grandpa's, it was his grandparents. And I got that years ago. So all this, my wedding gown is still in there. It's on display all the time.
Cool.
So this stuff I just keep in. This is my little flower basket that Darcy Elizabeth Hemphill walked down the aisle and threw out the flowers.
Aww.
Okay. This precious jewel is Jim's, what he had on his suit.
Okay.
And then this is the topper to my cake.
Oh, that's your cake topper.
It's turtle doves.
Turtle doves.
Why wouldn't you have turtle doves?
I have no idea why you wouldn't.
Yes, and then that pillow, hold that nasty thing up now.
It's not nasty, but...
And this actually, and I believe back in the day, they don't do it anymore, but our wedding rings were tied to that pillow, and my cousin Caleb Franklin, who was a little fella, he's the one that carried that down. So to him and Darcy.
Yeah, there's several strings here. So
and
that's
my rings were actually tied to that.
Oh, okay.
Now they do all sorts of fun stuff where, like, the men lose the ring and they don't know where it's at and all that kind of stuff. They do funny stuff now with rings.
Do they?
Oh, yeah, they do, because nobody carries them anymore because kids probably threw them. But anyway, I have some pictures.
Okay, let's see ya.
Okay, let's see what Ty's going to pull up. Let's see what he pulls up on me. That's not me. There we go. Okay, my favorite wedding picture. Oh. Okay, we're down in the basement at the Christian church, and people were really like, it got funny where like people were like shove cake all over the bride and groom's face. I'm literally I think Jim realized he was not messing with just the typical woman. I am looking at him right now like going, don't you even think about shoving. And my
you're giving him a
look where my hand's at.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're going to shove it right back at him if he starts. I'm so glad he didn't do that to you. Everyone I know that has done that, they're now divorced.
Oh, well, no, he didn't do it
if they smear each other's faces, like in my book, it's not a good sign for your future. But
I am
whatever.
literally looking at him like crazy. Let's see.
Yeah, that's funny.
What other picture do I have? Oh, best picture.
I love this one.
So back in my day, and I wish I had my bouquet. It's the only thing I don't have, but back then we really threw the bouquet.
Yeah, I bet.
I love this picture because everybody makes fun of it because for some reason, everybody that got married in the 80s, we were saluting. I don't know. And it's like tilt your head.
It was a popular pose. You had to tilt your head.
Yeah, I mean, it was like tilt it forward, tilt it this way, like the robot. But yeah.
Your dress is beautiful.
My dress, it was a beautiful dress.
Yeah,
got that at the farmer store down in down in Fairfield, $250. My hat was $35.
That's awesome.
But that is one of my favorite pictures. I have a waist. That was before children.
Yeah,
not a wrinkle in sight.
Aww.
And then I think I got one more picture. Yeah, I like that picture too because Joy Patterson made all my dance flowers for me.
Oh.
And I love that bouquet. She did a beautiful job, and I really wish I wouldn't have thrown it. I don't remember who caught it. Maybe
it wouldn't have kept anyway.
It wouldn't have kept anyway, but yeah. So that's those are my because so here's my side view. That would be the side view.
Yeah.
Tilted.
Tilt, tilt and salute.
Tilt and salute.
Tilt and salute. There you go. Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
okay.
The old hat's got a little.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, it is.
Was it bright white or because it's a little bit more of an ivory now?
It was bright white.
Okay.
It was bright white. Yeah, no, it's a little dingy, but it's got that like super cool rose right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, fun.
Yeah. Hats were big.
It's got
in the
back.
80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hats were big. It's got this. And I didn't, have it over. We didn't do all that.
Yeah,
no. Some have the veils.
You have to lift the veil.
Yeah,
I like that idea, but I didn't do that either.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hear a little bit about yours before we head out.
So my wedding was also at the First Christian Church in Flora.
Yep.
1999. I married Jason Cooper from Sisney, and let's see. I think I sent in a couple pictures of us. So
I love your cake.
Yeah, thanks. I loved my cake too, but it was really one of the only things that went bad that day is that my cake was leaning a little bit. The lady that made my cake, she was really nervous to make one that tall, but everyone else was doing tall cakes at that time. That was what was in. And the other thing was I specifically told the florist I don't want any baby's breath, and I don't want any greenery.
And you got baby's breath and greenery
all over that cake and in our flowers. And that was the big thing. I'm like, I'll pay extra for actual, because in the 90s, what was popular was just a bouquet of nothing but blooms.
Yeah.
There was no greenery at all anywhere. It was just a brown.
In the 80s, we were baby's breath and greenery.
Yes.
But
well,
when you came along, it was
my
not.
florist, she was happy. She liked the 80s, I think.
I think she did love it.
She hadn't moved on to 1999 yet. Bless her heart.
Bless her.
So that was the only thing I was disappointed with was the massive amount of baby's breath and greenery that I had specifically said no. And I was not a bridezilla. I did not have a lot of requests. I didn't have a lot of. I was just like, I want purple and white. Those are my colors, but no baby's breath, no greenery. Yeah. And I remember when I went to pick up the flowers, I tried to hide it because it was just.
It's too late now.
It was too late, and saying something to her wouldn't have changed anything, or it would only made her feel bad. And I was thankful that she had done it. And but I was just like, seriously, that was the one thing I didn't want. But it doesn't matter. What other pictures did I send? Oh yeah, here we are,
I
right
bet
outside
you're
the
getting
church.
Are you getting rice thrown on you?
That is bird seed.
You got the bird
We
seed.
did
I
the
got
bird
the rice.
seed. Yep, coming out of the Christian church. There's my.
Who's your
friend-
bride? Who's the bridesmaids back there?
Okay, so that's Jessie Hall on the far left. She was my best friend growing up in Harrisburg. That's her, and then that is Hillary Van Dyke Halsey, my first cousin Hillary.
Okay.
She was my junior bridesmaid because she was only like 13 or 14 there. And then I think, and that little boy over to the right, I think is Mason Reinhardt.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, and
how funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's him or Heath.
So
Van Dyke.
fun.
I can't tell. But yeah, so let's see. I might have sent another one or two. I'm not sure. Oh yeah,
There it is.
here's just we are. I mean, this is everybody that got married to the First Christian Church.
I have those same candelabras.
The same candelabras, the same table in the back.
Everything.
Yeah, and that's just it was a great day. I loved my dress. It was very comfortable. And she did do pretty good on my bouquet. Like, see how
Your
there's
bouquet is
not
beautiful.
That's really what I wanted. There's still a little bit of greenery there, but she basically kept to what I wanted with mine. I was happy with it.
Yeah.
So is that all of them, Ty? Yeah.
I think that's
okay.
all. My bridesmaid was my cousin Buffy. Buffy was my maid of honor, and then Chris Roopsum and my friend Christina Binky, who unfortunately is no longer with us. She passed away a few years ago. But yeah, we had my yellow tea length. I was not a bridezilla whatsoever. I really didn't care. Actually, my mom was mad at me because my mom was like, "Stacey, make a decision." I'm like, "Mom, I don't really care. Whatever you want to do."
That's how Leah is right
I
now.
want a super cool hat. I want a super cool hat, and I got my super cool hat, and I wanted it yellow. I didn't care.
Yeah. Well, this veil that I'm wearing is not the veil that I had on in the pictures. This veil actually belongs to Kim Smith that's married to Mark Smith at the Methodist Church. She let me borrow this because she had hers out and available. Mine was boxed away and sealed. And this is beautiful. She wore this in her wedding, which I don't have a picture of her and Mark. I thought I had it here, but I'm pretty sure I did not get it resent after I had the tech problem. But
actually, you do. I saw it.
Oh, is it?
Was there a picture of Mark and Kim? I thought I just saw it.
Oh yeah,
There
here
it
we go.
is.
Yeah,
There
it
it
did
is.
come through. Let's look at this one. Yeah, so this is the veil that I'm wearing. Kim's wearing it here. This is Kim and Mark. So thanks, Kim, for letting me wear this beautiful thing.
It's so weird seeing Mark with hair.
Yeah. Everyone looks so young.
I loved Kim's dress too. All those ruffles.
Oh yeah, her
because
dress
they
is
were probably right
beautiful.
behind me. I think they were married in what 89, something like that. They were right behind me.
Yeah, beautiful.
I
So,
love it.
Anyway.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
talk about our ending here.
Okay, how are we going to end this show?
Let's go with Joanne Wolfgang von Goethe.
Oh.
Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it.
I believe that.
I
Sometimes
do
you have to
too.
be bold.
I bet it's Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in
You
it.
believe you can do it? Just
You
begin
do it.
Beginning
Just
it's
do
usually
it.
the hardest part.
Be like Nike. Just do it.
Yeah.
Man. Awesome. What a fun show.
This was a fun show. I love weddings.
I
So
love
that
weddings
was,
too.
That was
Now
fun
I do.
to talk about.
Now I do.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
fun
now you
getting
do.
all my stuff out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're
So
done,
anyway,
sister.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on By the Way with Beth and Stacey.
God bless you. Have a great day.